Hello, another fat bearded man talking about records here. But if you whisper Hedley 3 times into a mirror, I will come and play country music on your stereo. Hello VC and anyone else that's watching. I'm going to do a bit of a VCLT that I'm very, very lucky to have got from 2 amazing VCers. And then, because Sean Jlock asked and tried to get other people to badger me, I'm going to show my collection of homemade, barely playable guitars. So I'm upstairs in the spare room where they are kept under lock and key in case I play them. Louise has the key, but she's given me the key today to get into the locker where they are kept. Everyone's out, although the cat is in the house somewhere, so it might complain if I play them. We'll see when we get to that. But first of all, I feel quite a long way away from the camera here, actually. But I've done that so I can sort of take stuff in and I can show guitars later. But first of all, let's get on with some VCLT. First of all, I got this from Martin Parrott. If you haven't watched Martin's videos, get on there. I will put a link below. This is the Austin Lounge Lizards, and it's called Highway Cafe of the Damned, and it's from 1988. I love that picture of them at the bar. I love this woman here. That looks exactly like the Highway Cafe of the Damned, doesn't it? They're a kind of a country outfit. They do a bit of everything, really. Bluegrass, straight ahead country, honky tonk. And but with a sense of humour. So, for example, there's a song. Where is it? About. Oh, have I got this wrong? Hang on, I'm going to need to put my glasses on. This is not going as smoothly as I thought. No, I'm wrong, aren't I? Oh well, never mind. I don't know what I was talking about. I was clearly thinking of another record. Anyway. So sort of western swing, bluegrass, a bit of everything really on this. And it's on a label which I'm familiar with called Watermelon, which does a rather nice sort of watermelon-esque label, which I think's rather groovy. And there's, yes, songs like When Drunks Go to Bed. Oh, the Ballad of Ronald Reagan. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I couldn't see it on the back. That's very strange. Why can't... Oh, because I'm reading the... Oh, there it is. I was reading the names of the band members. Get a Haircut, Dad. So kind of comedy, funny songs, which is right up my street. So, Martin, that's a great sounding record. And I like these sort of... what would you call them? Independent labels. They're great. It kind of like... everyone knows my love of flying fish. Right. The next... VCLT I got, and take these off. The next VCLT I got was from John Bellamy. Again, John Bellamy has got videos that he produces, and these they're great. And again, I will put the link below. John, thank you so much for sending these. I say that now, just to sort of give a bit of a caveat to what I'm going to say. So the first one we have is Sullivan Plays O'Sullivan, and this is Big Jim Sullivan. You know, Big Jim Sullivan plays the music of Gilbert O'Sullivan. Now, I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of Gilbert O'Sullivan, but this is it's a nice enough album. It's kind of 70s, kind of rocky. I say 70s, 77, and yeah, it's kind of. Some nice sort of sounds on the guitar, but some of the kind of synthesizers and things in the background are a little bit off-putting. But I need to give this a bit more of a listen, I have to admit. Next up, Ralph McTell. This is called Streets, including the Streets of London, of course, his most famous song. And I do love the song. It's become a bit hackneyed, I know, but he's a great songwriter. He doesn't really get the dues coming to him. And this is a great album from the late 70s. 75. No, it's mid-70s, that is. So yeah, I used to play Streets of London on the guitar. I can't play it now. Probably just as well. But yeah, Ralph McTell, folk. This is kind of folk rock, I suppose, really, at this stage, some of it. But a very good songwriter, a very good British folkie. Thanks, John. I'm glad to have that. Okay, this is where it all goes a bit pear-shaped. Dwayne Eddy. Twangy guitar, silky strings. And this is the old Twangmeister doing Unchained Melody, When I Fall in Love, Moon River, things like that, with his twangy guitar and syrupy strings in the background. And I have to say, it's not a great album. I like a bit of Dwayne Eddy and his twangy guitar that Lee Hazelwood produced. And I think, yes, it's supervised by Lee Hazelwood, this one. He wanted a little to do with it. And yeah, I mean, it's sentimentally slurpy kind of strings and stuff. And I don't know, but songs like Unchained Melody, I mean, the guitar playing, let's say a 5-year-old given a couple of goes on a guitar could probably come up with it. Dong, 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 dong. It's just, yeah, not brilliant playing. I mean, I don't think he was a brilliant player. Certainly he's not showing it on this. So yeah, I might send this on to someone else in the VC, see what you think. Okay, and finally we got Ray Charles, Friendship. And this is basically country. So we know that Ray Charles engaged in country. And this is an album of duets with the great and the good of the country scene. So we've got Hank Williams Jr., the Oak Ridge Boys, George Jones and Chet Atkins, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Ricky Skaggs. And it's one of those things where, on the face of it, it should be brilliant. Ray Charles is great, Merle Haggard's great, Johnny Cash is great. They all seem to be a bit on autopilot. And also, I mean, you know, one of the things you think about Ray Charles is his piano playing, and he doesn't play piano on here. I mean, all right, it is Hager's Pig Robbins, but you kind of want a bit of Ray Charles piano. So yeah, it's a serviceable record. Nothing sounds particularly too bad. It's just, like I said, they could have done this in their sleep to some extent. You don't feel that anyone's particularly really trying that hard. It's just an easy day in the studio for them. But it's a nice, I mean, that run of Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson is great. So yeah, I'll be certainly keeping hold of that. It's you know, I'm perhaps being a bit harsh on it, but it's good. And it's nice to have those duets with the various people on it. So John, that's the star, I think, of the show. And although I did like the Streets of London, so yeah, both Martin and John, thank you so much for those. It's great. I'm going to have to think long and hard about if there's anything I've got that I can help you out with. Let me know if there's anything you're particularly looking for, and I probably won't have it. Okay, now I'm going to stop that there. Okay, so as I said, Sean asked me to show some of my homemade guitars. So always wanting to please my audience. You know, if it's a request, I do requests. I'm here all week. Try the veal. Okay, so I'm going to go through this in the order I made them. I suppose I should say why I started doing this. I wanted a banjo, and I couldn't afford a banjo. So I came across a website or a picture or something online, and I saw this guitar that was made out of a tin. And I really liked the look of it. It looked great. And for some reason, I decided that I was going to have a go and try and make one myself. So, not having any of the skills, I mean, my woodworking prowess were never particularly brilliant at school. Mind you, we never really made anything that interesting, I suppose, that I could sort of really get into. Anyway, I've always been a bit handy. You know, I can sort of turn my hand to a lot of different things. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's me. And so I decided I was going to make one, starting from scratch, knowing absolutely nothing about making guitars. But I came across a website called Cigar Box Nation, and I'll put the link here. And that is a kind of a collective, a forum for people who make cigar box guitars, but also guitars out of almost anything. Bedpans, all kinds of things. I don't know why I went with bedpans. They do bedpans. Anyway, and yeah, so with the sort of help and the advice and various sort of guidance that was available through that website, I was able to manage to put together a guitar. So, here's my first one. Now, I know what you're thinking. That looks nothing like a banjo, and it does look nothing like a banjo, and it is nothing like a banjo. This is, in essence, an electric guitar. So it's using a tin, and that's a Marmite tin. All the Brits will know what Marmite is. I'm not sure the Americans will. It's a legendary yeast extract product. In fact, I had some for my breakfast this morning. So anyway, it kind of developed from the idea of a banjo, and I ended up I decided I'd have a 6-string. I don't have an electric guitar, so I put on a pickup, but it's also got a transducer. Is it transducer? It's been a long time since I've talked about this. Transducer pickup, or a piezo pickup inside, which is a kind of a vibration. You know when you get a card that plays a tune? Basically, it's one of those, which is really interesting because it can be a microphone or a speaker, so depending on how you wire it. And what that does, it's got a switch on it there, if you see it, and that switches between the pickup and the piezo pickup inside, underneath the bridge. That's the bridge there. So, shall I? Now, it has got. Have I got a pickup? Am I in a plectrum? Yes. I have got. There you go. You can probably hear that. It's not very loud though, is it? So, a bit twangy, but really, it's not an acoustic instrument. It doesn't really play very well acoustically. I mean, I think because there's so much stuff going on the box. I've got these sound holes which probably actually don't help, and all the electronics inside, which make the resonating box not particularly resonating. But if I plug it in, it's a different kettle of fish. Let's turn that on. There we go. There we go. Can you hear that? Horrible. Awful. So one of the things that making it myself meant I could do is I could make the neck as wide as I want for my great big fubsy hands. Fubsy I think means flat and fat, and that's kind of what they are. So actually it's the kind of the dimensions that you would have on a classical guitar, which is the one I play. So shall we give it a bit of. How about one of these? that's in tune. Right, there you go. So that's my first guitar, my Marmite guitar. Okay, next up is another tin guitar. This one is, if you can see, is made from a Cadbury's biscuit tin. This is quite a long neck, so I don't know why I did such a long neck on this. I thought aesthetically I kind of liked it, but it's not the most practical, I have to say, being this big. Yeah, because I can't find strings for it, which is a bit of a shame. But this has a little bit of a more of a... I should say the favourite bit of making these is making the neck, and it's very therapeutic using the what do you call it? The oh, that's going to kill me. Oh no, what's it called? It's called a no. It'll come to me. I'll probably shout it out in a minute. Yeah, it's really nice to work the neck into the shape you require it. I buy sort of cheapo parts, but then if you see also, that's actually just a bolt, a threaded bolt as the nut there. That's called the nut, and the same thing going there. I've got a and as you can see, the neck. I think Andy said this on the guitar he showed. He called it a through neck. What that means is that the neck goes all the way through, and this bit here is part of the neck. So it means that actually structurally, the tin is taking none of the strain. It's the only thing it's got is the bridge there. So yeah, this is one of my favourites actually. This one. I'll tell you what, I might plug. Shall I plug this one in to give you a bit of a tune? I mean, we might not necessarily hear all of them, but I like this one. So that's on the wrong finger. So. Right, let's turn it on. Let's have a bit of that. Really a bluesy kind of guy. So these ones are strung 3 strings, G, D, G, G, D, G, which means it's kind of like it's not even a chord. It's not a chord because you need 3 notes for a chord. So it's G, D, G. It's kind of like a power chord really, which means all you need to do is go up the. So any idiot can play this. Anyone can do that. It's really simple, even though I make it look incredibly hard and pathetic. Right, okay, so that's my other tin guitar. Let's turn that off. I don't think I'll... oh yeah, no, I don't have to plug the next one in. This one is the next one I made, and this is... I play the kind of classical guitar as my choice, mainly because my fingers... I have actor's hands... so I can't really cope with the metal strings. I used to, and I gave up for some reason, and my calluses have gone. So this is a wine box, a three bottle wine box. And I got the box and I thought, oh, well, that will make a brilliant guitar. And again, this is actually strung, 6-string guitar, strung as a, hang on, I'll give you a closer look. So yeah, so there's the bridge, so that was hard to put on. Yeah. Good thing about this is you can actually open it and put a bottle of wine or beer in it, which I should have done to show you. Maybe I'll do it later so I can tag it on at the end. Anyway, so yeah, again I could make this for my fingers, and so this is, yeah, when I do gigs, this is the one I tend to use. Okay, I mean, it sounds okay, and you know, which is good, because if this didn't resonate, there'd be very little point in having a guitar, really. It does plug in, but being classical strings, it doesn't sound particularly good, but it's good for playing at gigs and things like that, because it does amp up. I've not played in ages. So there you go. So that's my... I should have names for them, really. I don't. That's my wine box guitar. 2 more to go. This is Black Betty. There you go. No, I don't call it Black Betty at all. So this is, yeah, this is a cigar box. What's it called? Well, I can't work it out. Anyway, so this is a really lovely cigar box, sort of a black kind of lacquered thing, and so I kind of went for a black kind of feel to the whole guitar. So using gold, sort of coloured tuners, and sort of the whole thing. I should remember all the woods I used were. There's the sort of back, and so you see how that's sort of supported the neck. Again, it's all the way through, as you can see at the bottom there, where it's the strings go. Now, there's a video somewhere of a guy playing this really well, but I can't play it very well. I've never been... Yeah, it doesn't sound particularly good. Well, you never know when you make these things. Are they going to sound any good? Are they going to work? And I think the thing is, This is the 4-string, as you can see, so kind of it works a bit like a ukulele sort of tuning, although it has a low string. I don't know, and it's it looks better than it plays, really. But like I said, there's a guy that played it and it sounds really good when he plays it, so maybe I just need the practice. It does plug in, but it's really not worth hearing plugged in. It's yeah, so it looks nice, but doesn't really play very well. Now this is maybe my favourite, actually. This one, again, it's a cigar box guitar, this one. This is, where is it from? From the Philippines, I think. Cigar box. 25 Torpedo. Yeah, so this is just a basic, and this is my go at making what I would say is a kind of traditional looking cigar box guitar. And yeah, and really this was the last one I've made for myself. I've made others for people since, but I've kind of got out of the practice. Well, I mean, I've got enough. I mean, I don't really need another. And I'm a man without a shed, and without a garage. So whenever I have to work on a guitar, I have to take over the kitchen, which is not ideal. It's somewhere where you eat and cook food. It's not somewhere where you sand and chop and basically make a mess. So I've not made one for a while, although I do owe someone a guitar. So when I've got some time, I'm probably going to make them for him. Here's one for Dean. I forgot how it goes. So there you go. Those are my guitars. I'm sorry if you came looking for records, but that's why I put the VCLT up front. Yeah, I can make these things. I can't really play them, until I come back, maybe my next one will be the first instalment of my country rock chronology, or genealogical, I can't remember, chronological or genealogical, one of the two, family tree or time, I'm not sure. Now I'm rambling. So on that note, time to go.